Only a super empath can destroy a narcissist's ego. That's right. And today I'm unpacking what it means to be a super empath and why they're so disruptive to the narcissist and their overinflated, yet ever so fragile ego. Let's do it. Hi friends, welcome to my channel. If it's your first time here, my name is Tamie M. Joyce. I'm the founder of Tamie M Coaching and the creator of the Freedom class and the Ascension class. Please take a second to say hello and introduce yourself in the comments section below. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video. So let's talk about the how and why of it. Why exactly is the super empath so incredibly disruptive and disturbing for people who land on the spectrum of destructive narcissism? Well, I think a good place to begin is to unpack what exactly it means to be a super empath. So, for those of you who are unaware, to begin with, the super empath is a mission soul who has done their work, healed from their dysfunctional family of origin, wounding, and trauma to a large degree, and as a result are much stronger, more confident, clear, whole, self-aware, and self-actualized than they would otherwise be. They are highly empathic, empowered souls who are here to serve humanity in their own unique way, not least of which by anchoring in frequencies that they themselves may or may not even realize that they embody. They also serve by literally being a walking mirror, triggering and reflecting back to others their unresolved issues and disowned shadow selves, which includes unresolved emotional wounding and trauma, as well as their subconscious fear, insecurity, and in the case of the destructive narcissist, their deeply buried self-loathing. Now, because super empaths so easily pick up on the emotional energy of those around them, they sense their true intentions, hidden judgments, attitudes, behaviors, and personality traits. Super empaths can temporarily take on those traits and project them back to the rightful owner. Anything that is hidden, such as a person's envy, jealousy, fear, insecurity, feelings of inadequacy, suppressed guilt, shame, anger, and any secrets they may carry. These things build in energetic intensity the longer they are left buried beneath the surface of a person's conscious awareness. If someone has traits that they don't like about themselves, they will inevitably be triggered and thus reminded of those traits when they are in the presence of a super empath. And this is one reason why there can sometimes be an instant dislike towards a super empath, in particular when meeting deeply unconscious people whose comfort zone is toxicity, dysfunction, and deep denial. If that's where they abide generally, well, when the super empath shows up on the scene with all of their light, their genuine love and authenticity, their high vibe and good nature and good intent, well, needless to say, it can and often does make less conscious and aware people very uncomfortable. And this can happen whether or not the super empath ever even opens their mouth. If you know you're an empath, and this has been your experience, a pattern of unprovoked and unwarranted rejection that doesn't add up, it's likely because without even realizing it, you are reflecting back to others the truth about themselves that they aren't ready, willing, or able to face. Instead, they prefer to hide from, deny, and project. And project, what I mean by that is they project their disowned shadow all over the nearest highly empathic target. Let me know in the comments if you've had this experience. Now, more often than not, this is the exact driving force behind why an individual will be targeted and cast as the family scapegoat in a dysfunctional family system. So many super empaths have had this experience. They are disruptive by nature, or more precisely, the frequency they carry is disruptive by nature. Even as toddlers, simply by virtue of the energetic frequency they carry, super empaths remind others of who they are, for better or worse. And for less secure, less evolved, or less conscious individuals, needless to say, this can be extremely uncomfortable. Now, the truth is, in addition to being fully committed to their own healing and ascension journey, the super empath can absolutely be the catalyst to healing and growth for others. But when dealing with narcissists, That's not what happens. Why? Well, because as I said, the narcissist is too busy projecting their own disowned shadow all over the super empath and is fully unable to see the super empath for who they are. Instead, they see the super empath through a distorted lens. That's right, it's a distortion. Remember, projection is the narcissist's subconscious protective mechanism and survival strategy. And the point of all of this projection, of course, is to blame the super empath or make the super empath responsible for all of the appalling attitudes and harmful choices and behaviors that actually belong to the narcissist. The goal for the narcissist is to unburden themselves of the heavy load they carry, which is typically buried deep within their subconscious. If you identify as a super empath and you find yourself having this experience, whatever you do, do not engage. No matter how well-intended you may be, it's not going to help. Rather, let the narcissist or otherwise unconscious individual carry their own load, and as a result, feel the full weight of what it is that they are trying so hard to avoid by projecting it all over you. Like all empaths, super empaths look for and often see the best in others, even when it's not actually there. But you can't fool a super empath for long, if at all. They are astute observers and discerners. And once they're onto you, there will be no turning back. Unless, of course, you're genuine and sincere and have a good heart and are in the habit of walking your talk. The thing is, super empaths can spot disingenuous a mile away. And they have little to no tolerance for feeble attempts to justify and rationalize bad behavior and relationship crimes. They are the ultimate walking lie detector. So don't waste your time trying to lie to, gaslight, or otherwise manipulate one. They may or may not call you out on your BS, but make no mistake, they didn't miss a thing. And you can be sure they see right through the nonsense. Super empaths are super intuitive. They pick up on even the most subtle vibe. They feel everything deeply. They are emotionally strong and carry genuine self-love, self-respect, and healthy self-esteem. As I alluded to earlier, this is mainly because they've actually done their healing and recovery work. They're fully committed to personal growth, spiritual development, and ascension. They've surpassed their original family of origin programming and healed the wounding and trauma and limiting beliefs, again, to a large degree. For this reason, they have a very strong core identity. They know exactly who they are and who they are not. They don't need your validation, applause, or approval. They know their own mind, and they trust themselves implicitly. They have the power of clear, wise discernment on their side. They don't lie to themselves, and they certainly don't lie to, for, or about others. They've been through the fire more than once and have come out the other side stronger, wiser, more grounded, more clear, and confident as a result. They are loyal to the truth, honest to a fault, straight shooters, which of course is problematic for people who prefer the cozy comfort of denial, deception, manipulation, and dysfunction. Like, for example, people who land on the spectrum of destructive narcissism. Unlike other empaths, the super empath is not a good target, mainly because they are not easy to manipulate, which is another reason they're so problematic in dysfunctional family dynamics and other toxic low vibrational circles. They see through people quickly. Like I said earlier, they don't miss a thing. That smug on your face or the way you rolled your eyes didn't go unnoticed, but neither did it land, nor did it affect them. It just exposed you for who you are. They're clear. They pick up on disingenuous intent and manipulation very quickly. They also don't scare easily. You can't intimidate a super empath, so don't waste your time trying. Super empaths don't look for confrontation or go out of their way to create conflict unnecessarily, but neither do they shy away from it. If the occasion calls for going nose to nose or toe to toe with an emotional manipulator, a liar, or a toxic bully. And naturally, this makes liars, toxic bullies, and emotional manipulators very nervous and uncomfortable. They're outmatched, and they know it. Now that said, super empaths are also boundaried. And because of that, they aren't easily phased. They don't compromise their standards or their integrity for anyone. They are also genuinely kind, loving, and forgiving, but not to their own detriment. They are nobody's doormat, and they certainly aren't pushovers. Cross one, and you'll likely find out the extent to which this caliber of empath is capable of taking care of themselves. They sell their soul for no one. And although, yes, they are boundaried and well-mannered, and elegant even, make no mistake, they can and will breathe fire if and when they are sufficiently provoked. Regardless, they know how to maintain their personal power, and they don't allow others to have any power over them. And although they are genuinely highly empathic and sensitive souls, they are stronger than most humans can fathom or imagine, and for good reason. As I've said, they've been through the fire more than once and come out the other side more of who they are on a soul level, never less. They are thick-skinned and know how to remain completely unaffected by the nonsense and drama stirred up by toxic, insecure, empathy-impaired troublemakers. They know who they are, and if you don't see their value or are threatened by their personal power and strength, no sweat. That is entirely your loss. They are fiercely independent, having healed, once again, their codependency and wounded inner child, and as such, they can afford to be interdependent with other relatively healthy and evolved humans. Super empaths know their worth, and when faced with people who are unable to see it and treat them accordingly, they simply walk away and don't look back. Whatever you do, don't ever make the mistake of underestimating them. They're super smart, and again, highly intuitive, so nothing gets past them. They aren't driven by fear, ego, or insecurity. They're predominantly grounded, calm, and clear, spiritually connected, and fully aware and in possession of their superpowers. And for this reason, they don't do phoning. They won't enable you in your nonsense or prop you up in your denial. They absolutely cannot abide dishonesty, lies by omission, or using truth out of context. They tell themselves and others the truth, respectfully and appropriately, of course, no matter how uncomfortable, inconvenient, or unpopular. Unlike most people, they have the courage to live a life fully aligned with truth. And you can rest assured they're onto you, which is fine if you're a decent human being with nothing to hide. People who have nothing to hide nothing. But if you have malicious or malevolent intent, if your tendency is to lie, deny, or try to gaslight others, you're in the wrong room with a super empath. If you think you'll be able to get away with any of it for very long, lie to them or about them, it's over. End of story. The super empath is a spiritual warrior, loving, kind, and fearless. She, or he, carries genuine humility and has nothing to prove. So when the narcissist is wearing smug on their face, thinking they've got one up, they're dead wrong, and they soon find out just how wrong they are. Super empaths cannot abide hypocrites, fakes, phonies, or as I said, liars. So, are you starting to see how a super empath can so easily destroy a narcissist's ego? Super empaths trigger the narcissist's deep-seated feelings of insecurity, inferiority, and unworthiness, which ignites the narcissist's envy very quickly. Super empaths are also in alignment with their higher selves, their soul, while narcissists are typically hiding behind a mask, a fake phony front and false persona, an identity that is incredibly fragile and no match for the genuine light, love, strength, courage, integrity, and deep intuition and intellect of the super empath. The thing is, narcissists are liars. They lie to themselves and they lie to others with tremendous ease and zero guilt, shame, or remorse. Super empaths, on the other hand, are truth seekers, truth speakers, and truth carriers. And the truth carries a vibration 1,000 times more powerful than any lie ever will. So, who do you think wins the game effortlessly? Simply because of the purity of their intent, the love in their heart, and the caliber of their frequency, the super empath always comes out on top in the end. You can count on it. Now, comment below and let me know if any of this resonates with you. Let me know in the comments section below. And if it does, then you might be a good candidate for one of my coaching programs. If that's of interest to you, there's a link in the description below this video where you can apply to see if you qualify for a free one-on-one consultation with either myself or a member of my team. So how exactly does a super empath destroy a narcissist's ego? It's all about energy, friends. To begin with, super empaths are empowered, soul-aligned, sovereign beings. They don't take on the narcissist projections. They don't fall for the crazy-making mind games. They are fully unfazed by the toxic gossip and perception manipulation the narcissist uses to control how others see them. All of the justification and rationalization in the world won't move a super empath if they know that they are aligned with the truth of the matter and are firmly rooted in their personal integrity, which of course they always are. Narcissists are the ultimate wounded inner child, a toxic emotional toddler running around in an adult body pretending to be an adult. So, destructive survival strategies are all they've got. The super empath is not this at all on any level. Rather, they are fully independent, emotionally, psychologically, and spiritually, as opposed to codependent. They aren't needy. Instead, they are self-aware, self-reliant, and fully sovereign. And for this reason, they can afford to be interdependent in a healthy way with other relatively healthy people. Narcissists can't and have no idea how to deal with someone who is so unflappable, so unfazed, so personally empowered, confident, clear, genuine, loving, and strong. Someone who doesn't enable them. Someone who doesn't participate in the destructive narcissist tactics and childish mind games. Someone who is bulletproof and immune to their manipulation. The truth they carry and clean standards they live by are enough to unsettle any narcissist. Again, simply by virtue of the energy, the frequency that they emanate. Narcissists are fundamentally fear and shame-based people who are terrified of exposure, in particular when it comes to their own shortcomings and inadequacies. And the energy of a super empath, the energy that they carry, sooner or later triggers all of the fear, all of the guilt, all of the shame, insecurity, and absolute inadequacy and fragility of the narcissist and their overinflated, fake, phony ego. The reality is narcissists are cowards to their core, terrified, tortured little souls acting out their pain at the expense of others. And unfortunately, while being enabled by a deeply unconscious and equally dysfunctional and toxic entourage. By contrast, the super empath is a spiritual warrior, strong, brave, courageous, smart, intuitive, kind, loving, honest, and high vibing. Everything the narcissist is not. And exposure to the super empath's light is often all it takes to destroy the narcissist's fragile little ego. And this is why the super empath has so often been the target of so much toxic gossip and character assassination through the classic narcissistic smear campaign. The dark is terribly afraid of the light and will work to destroy it at all costs. No lie is too great, no length too far, no projection too much. They go all out and still they fail to destroy the super empath. The super empath is a bright light and a big mirror reflecting back to the narcissist what they cannot see, own, accept, or acknowledge about themselves. Because the super empath is emotionally strong and they trust themselves, their spidey senses and bullshit detectors are fine-tuned. They pick up on what others think and feel no matter what kind of mask they may have on, no matter what they think they may be getting away with hiding. Subtle, sneaky, passive-aggressive behavior doesn't get past a super empath. Again, they don't miss anything. They can read a room and the people in it with incredible accuracy and at lightning speed, which is why insecure people are so easily triggered by them. On some level, they feel completely exposed because in reality, they are. You can't lie to a super empath and expect to get away with it. They can and will pick up on your true intent and disingenuous motives. There are no fools, and trying to manipulate or pull one over on a super empath is likely to seriously backfire on you. They remember everything, including small details, and they spot patterns quickly. Furthermore, super empaths know who they are and who they are not. And if you've shown them who you are, and who you are is anything but decent, genuine, kind, loving, honest, or well-intended, the super empath is not likely going to have much to do with you, if anything at all. Although they are all about love, service, and fairness, they are no fools. And the typical narcissist is completely outmatched when faced with a super empath, and they know it, which is why they are so easily thrown off balance and inevitably crumble when trying to take on a super empath. They don't stand a chance when faced with a true super empath. Even the super empath's commitment to their personal integrity is enough to set a narcissist off. The light they carry shines on all the dark, shadowy places of a less evolved, less conscious, more narcissistic type. And in spite of their deep compassion and high empathy nature, the super empath has the ability to cut and cauterize with sociopath-like coldness if you give them good reason. Like, for example, if you are toxic, dishonest, disingenuous, phony, or harmful in any way to their well-being or the well-being of someone they love. The super empath will literally amputate you from their life without a second thought if you've shown them it's in their best interest to do so. Furthermore, they don't take on the narcissist's projections, and thus the narcissist is left to carry the burden of their own disowned shadow without the benefit of being able to dump it onto the super empath for relief. And what all of this boils down to is super empaths are fearless, brave, courageous, faithful, and incredibly strong survivors who shine bright. And the narcissist's darkness and toxicity are not only fully triggered by all of this high vibing bright light, but it is also no match for the good, the light, the love, the gold the super empath carries. Zero contest. And that is what the narcissist resents most, of course. When a narcissist enters the realm of a super empath, they get more than they bargained for. Instead of a yummy target, easy to manipulate, blame, shame, and work to destroy, the narcissist soon learns the extent to which they are fully powerless over a super empath. And the narcissist is then left to deal with themselves and all the messes they've created. Again, without the benefit of being able to project all over the super empath. And that, my friends, is why only a super empath can destroy a narcissist's ego. And on that note, I'm going to call it a wrap. But before I go, you should know the Ascension class is open for enrollment. Now, this is for you if you're ready and able to invest in yourself, you're ready to shift your identity, master the law of attraction, heal your relationship with money, and put a full stop end to the limiting beliefs and self-sabotaging behaviors that are holding you back and preventing you from living your best life. If you're ready to reinvent yourself from the inside out, create your dream life by design, and finally become the you were always meant to be, click the link in the description below this video to apply to see if you qualify for a free one-on-one consultation with either myself or a member of my team.